The aftermath of Hurricane Milton has left a trail of damage across the state of Florida, and now the lengthy recovery process gets underway as cleanup crews descend upon the hardest hit areas. My co-anchor Eva Pilgrim is in Fort Pierce, where tornadoes touched down ahead of the hurricane. Eva, what's the latest?
Yeah, you know, when these kinds of storms happen, we see a lot of relief efforts come in. Team Rubicon is one of those groups that usually comes in to help, and we're joined this afternoon by the CEO of Team Rubicon, Art De La Cruz. You guys are staging, I understand, in Hudson, Florida. Explain to us kind of what's the latest in your effort.
Yeah, so Team Rubicon is present in Pasco County as well as throughout the Milton affected areas. And what we are seeing is similar to what you've done. I'm actually just north of Tampa, and we've returned to Pasco County, where we had 40 gray shirts, our volunteers that were present, mitigating after Hurricane Helene passed. So we're seeing, new damages here with freshwater flooding as well as wind damage, and we'll continue to work to help these communities recover.
And for those people who have never seen your gray shirts at work, talk to us about what you guys do when you go into a community after a storm like this.
Yeah, so the first thing Team Rubicon does is, as a veteran-led organization, is we assess the work that needs to be done, unmet needs that need to be met. Once we're in the area, we start first with route clearance, which you will see where you're at in Fort Pierce, moving debris, primarily trees, fallen trees away, and then we start the hard months-long work of mucking out homes that have been flooded. This involves pulling everything that got wet inside of the house to the curb so these families can begin this long recovery. We're taking one thing off their plate, again, a major task to ensure that they can begin their recovery.
We just saw Hurricane Helene like 2 weeks ago. Now Hurricane Milton in the same area. A lot of these people have been hit twice. How does that complicate the work that you guys do?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it is a 1-2 punch that is really unprecedented. It makes the work tougher from a couple of different, vantage points. First off, now we've actually seen freshwater flooding damage here north of Tampa that wasn't present with Helene. We've seen wind damage with some of the roofs being destroyed that wasn't present for Helene. And all of these things complicate the recovery. And I think there's this humanity element of it where you have a population that is fatigued. Over the course of 3 years, 13 months, 3 different hurricanes have passed through this area, and they are tired. And this is why volunteers and work across the country and, helping these communities is so important in this moment of time.
What's the response when people see you guys coming?
I think the response is oftentimes one of disbelief. As an organization that delivers these services at no cost, it is a big deal for them to see people that are literally putting their lives aside, picking up, what they're doing, moving it here to Florida and saying, hey, I'm here to help. And then the real culmination of all of those feelings is the hug afterwards, to have a survivor say thank you, for that survivor to, tangibly say, a major part of my recovery is done, allows them to move on to the hundreds of other things they have to do to put their lives back together and get their lives back in, the normal order.
Such critical work that you guys do. Art De La Cruz with Team Rubicon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And DeMarco, a lot of work to be done here in Florida. So much cleanup still needs to happen.
A shout out to Team Rubicon for giving back, and a shout out to you as well, Eva, you and your team, for your fascinating reporting. We're glad you're safe. Thanks.